Microphone check. Microphone check. It's your boy DJ Mad Scientist. Um, I don't know if you could tell by my demeanor, but I'm a little different tonight, right? I'm a little different. The reason why, and I will say this originally, I had something else planned to discuss. Um, I was going to be talking about formatting. I had to scratch my feet. I was going to be talking about formatting songs in the correct format. And we'll talk about that next week. So if you came here to talk about how to format music so that it fits into the correct venue or platform, I'll do that next 4 weeks. Today, I want to talk about something different because I had 3 conversations today with 3 important people. I had a conversation with my manager. I had a conversation with the owner of the radio station that I work for. And I had a conversation with the promoter that I work with. And I will say that today I had my moment of truth. It's good news, but it's not. Um, and I told you guys when I started on this journey, I'm not trying to be a teacher. Okay, I'm not trying to be a professor. I'm not trying to be Professor DJ Mad Scientist. Like I'm letting you guys know what's going on in my journey to become famous. And I'm giving you real insight as a working DJ, as a working um, producer, as a working radio host. And I'm giving you the reality of what I have to deal with. And it's going to be recorded out there for posterity forever. So we're going to talk about it. But I just want you to know that today is going to be more of a stream of consciousness. It's not going to be anything I formatted out. Um, Hopefully, I'm loud enough. I have the mic close to me enough. It looks like I'm looking at the volume level, so I should be fine. But, well, let's just get into it. So, this is the first year where I only have one stream of income. And that felt really weird to me. I'm not used to it. I'm used to having 2 to 3 streams of income, including investments, um, including, you know, real estate, including DJ, promotion. This year only have one. Because I'm not going to get too much into the investment part, but let's just say I can't invest. Not going to get into that. We're not soul searching. I'm just giving you a moment of truth. Um, Secondly, I'm not selling real estate. Can I sell real estate? I'm very good at it. So good at it that I was meeting with someone last night and I was training them on radio hosting. And they're like, hey, by the way, I have this real estate related question. And I'm like, what? All right, I'll check it out. Um, but I just chose not to sell real estate because I don't like selling real estate. It's not. I got into selling real estate because out here in California, you can make a ton of money. You can be a lazy agent and make 100 grand. Okay. Um, I'm just sitting here thinking, I told you it's a stream of consciousness and I'm just going through my life. Um, and I'm good at it. I can make money at it, but I don't like doing it. I got into it because I wanted to make a certain amount of money. And once I start making the money, spoiler alert, money is never going to satisfy you. Money will never give you that satisfaction. I've literally like brought in checks of like 80 grand, 20 grand, 10 grand, a lot, like lots. Like I was selling real estate for 20 years, lots. If I got anything less than 10 grand, it was like almost like, oh, transaction was never worth it. Um, I've seen some large checks, large amounts of money, and I've never been more satisfied than when I got $100 to DJ. Like I'll DJ and get like $100 and the bill at the bar be $100 and I'll be totally cool with that. I've told people I would DJ for free. Um, I've told the owner of the venue, if you just put a bed in the back and just gave me food and drinks every day, you'd have a DJ here. I'd never be late. I just get up and DJ and then at night go to sleep. That's how much I love music. And this is the my third, like I had a career in government, then I had a career in real estate, and both of them were successful. I said, this will be my last career choice. It's my last act. I want it to be in music. That's it. 20, 30, however, as long as God will give me. I wanted to do that in music. I just don't want to do it in anything else. So today, I had 3 discussions with the radio owner. The one thing you got to know about radio is this: there's 2 sides to radio that you can get into. There's radio you can get into where they hire you. Congratulations, you're hired, like a job. What a lot of people don't know when you get into that side of radio, usually local. We're not talking about the large syndicated. We're not talking about Breakfast Club. We're not talking about, you know, um, radio shows at that level. And there's other ones that I can't think of them. There's one in Atlanta with Ricky Smiley, the one in New York with Ebro. Okay, they're making money. But usually on the local level, like I'm out here in California, it's not a lot of money. It's a lot of fame, but it's not a lot of money. And so you can do that. And what happens when you do that, they own you. So if I was like to get a job like out here, Power 106 or K Day or 92.3 to beat, and they say, hey, mad scientist, we want you to be in. We know you got it. Yes. But they would own you. And if you don't mind, then you get one of those jobs and that's how it works. But they don't pay you a lot. And then they own all your content, everything you say, every every picture you take, everything that you do. It's like a 360 deal. But a lot of people do it because they feel like the biggest guy out here is Big Boy. Big Boy was able to work himself through. So right now, Big Boy is probably like getting whatever he wants because once his contract ended, and I remember when his contract ended, he was with Power 106. When that contract ended, now he's with 92.3. He makes whatever he wants. He writes his own money. But I'm pretty sure everything before that, I mean, I don't know, but they probably paid him all right, you know. Um, or you can get into online radio. The benefit to that is you have a way bigger reach. Like I can reach the world. Power 106 out here only reaches like from LA to the 15. And if you're from LA, then you know what that means. Once you get past Fontana, you can't hear it. Whereas my radio station is heard around the world, 2 million people. So I talked to the radio station owner. He says, mad scientist, listen, um, you're very talented. You can do whatever you want. When it comes down to money, you can make the money you want. You just need to go ahead and do it. Like you need to make the decision that you're going to do it. I talked to my manager today. Confession. It's my confession. I applied for my previous government job, LA County Parks and Rec. I applied for that position. And I was like, well, it's what I know. I'm good at it. Why not? Only problem is I got that job when I was like 20s. Like if I had stayed with LA County, I should be like 3 positions higher than that position. And it would make sense, right? Because I would probably be teaching someone in their 20s, how to do this, how to make this happen. Um, it just doesn't make sense that I'm applying for it. But I was like, hey, it's a government job. I can still do what I want to do, but I have that. I have 2 paychecks coming in every month. And no matter how I perform, the same paycheck comes in. Because when you're out here, real estate, I'm being honest, you gotta hustle. It's a hustle. My job is to get 50 to 100 people to a venue every Saturday. And I can tell you the amount of hustle that it requires is immense just for 50 people. The amount of thought to sell 12 to 18 houses a year. Um, you're gonna make good money out here. Checks will probably be about 15 grand a piece. Um, 15 to 25. So you do the math. But and I've done it before. So 12 to 18 houses. 12 is always 18, and it is exhausting. Um, it's what's up, Erica? How you doing? I'm doing a stream of consciousness because that's all. I'm just talking. There's no plan. So I'm gonna talk for a good 30 to 45 minutes. But anyway, so yeah, that's my confession. And secretly, I was like, all right, I'll go back to the county, I'll get my master's. And once I get my master's, like I'm set. I'll get my broker's license. And then, it's like I can never be broke again. It'll be like mad scientist, MBA. Out here in California, you get a broker license and you got a master's degree. It's like golden. Living your life like you golden. I didn't tell a lot of people that because it's kind of embarrassing to think like at this point, there's a lot of people that think I'm very talented at what I do. And if I told those people I apply for a job, it would be like, why am I believing in you? You ever believed in somebody and they didn't believe in themselves? And then you start feeling like, I think I'm stupid for believing in you. And then you get to the point where you just get mad. You just be like, man, I'm not believing in you no more. Nah, nah. I think the people I know, they would be pissed if they knew that I was applying for jobs. Because they would be like, yo, I actually believe in you. I'm putting energy, time, and you applying for jobs? And then I had the hardest conversation with my promoter. I said my promoter, like, yeah, the promoter I work with. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to break out 2026, ready to have my time, my moment. Maybe, first thing I want to do is I want to do a Grammy party. It's like, but I don't know how to approach a venue about like, so I need advice on how to do that. He's like, well, they're going to ask you for a $15,000 guarantee, bar guarantee. Now, if you don't know what that means, is that essentially the bar has to make $15,000, and let's say it only makes 12, then you owe the bar owner 3,000. So 15,000 for me, I can do that. But that's not the question. The question is, can you get enough people to cover that 15,000? Because the point is not to like just go to the bank and give somebody 15,000 of your money. That you can't even drink that much alcohol. I could not. $15,000 worth of alcohol myself. If I'm there with just me and a couple of my friends, we can't drink that much alcohol because my promoter knows. He knows on Saturday for my Saturday brunch, I struggle to get 50 people at my Saturday brunch. I get it, but I struggle. And they drink about $3,000. 15,000, that's like 400 people out here in California. And he's like, you could do it, but I would not recommend you do it. So then he's like, yeah, so like I'm gonna be doing some bigger events in LA, Orange County, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, how come I don't know about this, about these bigger events, these plans? And he's like, If he ever sees this, I'm telling you exactly what he said. He's like, man, that's a whole nother conversation. You don't got time for that one. I said, nah. I mean, sum it up. It's like, you too bougie for that. I'm like, bougie? I'm going to tell you, the promoter I work with, he's not black. He's Filipino. So I'm like, I know how black people use bougie, but I don't know how Filipino people use bougie. And so I don't really know what he meant. And when he started to explain to me, really what it come down to is, well, I'll say it like this. I always call myself Kobe, right? He always like, nah, you're not Kobe. You're like Devin George. Like, nah. Because I've always focused on being good, being the best. I've always focused on being very competent, overly competent, excellent at what I do. Like, I took a online IQ test, scored like 131, which is gifted. It's not genius, but it's gifted. I was mad. For a minute, I had to like calm myself down from wanting to like obsess over a IQ test so I could go ahead and retake another online IQ test. And then I realized, yo, you got stuff to do. You can't be like messing around with these online IQ tests. I'm that guy. I have a tremendous chip on my shoulder. I want to be the best. I want to master what I do. And when it comes down to DJing, I have mastered, I believe, a 2-hour set. I call it my birthday set. And I if I go through that 2-hour set, which includes it starts off with T-Pain's Up Down, then it goes into Chris Brown's Ayo. Um, and then we go into I call it the birthday set because it has all the birthday songs. So it's got Say Ah, it's got the other one by Trey Songz. Tell the DJ turn it up, that one. And then I go into Don't Tell Them. Dun, 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 dun. And then I hit them after that. I hit them with Girls Around the World, Lil Wayne. Oh my God. That song has such an incredible vibe. Lloyd's, Girls Around the World. It's such a vibe. Like I still get goose pimples when I think about it. That's the song. By the time you get to that song, that's the one where you know, like, okay, this is a party. And you know what's next? Where the party at? Right? Oh. Oh my God. When I do my birthday party, it is perfect. And then out here in California, you gotta do Spanish. So after that song, we go into party with, and everybody knows it. No matter what color you are, black, Mexican, white, everybody knows Bad Bunny Party. By the way, that whatchamacallit party, the football Super Bowl part, that Super Bowl performance is gonna be lit. I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, that Super Bowl performance is gonna be so lit, without a doubt. I don't know, white people be tripping. They're tripping. Not all of them. The good whites will understand, but the racist whites, the right wing, the alt right, they're tripping because that's gonna be a party. Anyway, so 2 hours. Go through, yeah, it's got the Little John, it's got Kendrick, it even got Drake. Okay. And then out here we have 310 baby, where the hoes at. We got the line dances things going. you know, Kang Wang with it. Dun, dun, dun. So everybody is happy. That's who I've always been. I have a chip on my shoulder, and I have to be the best at something. As a producer, I learned how to create my own kick. I have my own kick drum. I obsessed to learn how to make my own kick and 808. I don't need to sample nobody's 808 or kick. My kick is better and it's loud. I wanted to learn how to make music loud. Man, I make some loud ass music. And I do that shit in my sleep. I know how to make sample beats. If I have to like do the original, do the melody, I know how to do all that shit. So I have mastered how to do it. I have some weaknesses. I'm not saying everything is, I'm not saying like I'm super perfect like a computer. I have some weaknesses, but I know where my weaknesses are. And either with AI or Erica, I can figure it out. I can just go to them because I already know what to ask them. The one thing I have never been good at, and this is the part that the reason why it hurt the most. I've throughout my entire life, even in high school, I've never been that guy. And if you know what that guy means, I think that's kind of universal. That guy, the guy where they say, like, I remember being in the choir and I can sing, not like, oh, not church sing, but I'm a little kid. I can sing and I like being in front. I would never get the solo. It was like, nah, you just be in the choir. I was a alto and then tenor, right? Never that guy that's like you could stand in front and everybody's like, oh, we're here for him. I was reliable because everybody knew that I knew what I knew, but I was never the star. I was never the reason why people said, yeah, I'm coming. I remember I used to work for the county and I had a really good day camp. I had an excellent day camp, one of the best day camps. And there was another park that had a day camp, not even close to like the level of excellence that I could provide. Like one of the people that worked for me had her master's in psychology. So we were doing advanced level educational things during summer and making it fun, right? Because we worked as a team. So everything that all these ideas she had, we would make them fun, right? And the kids, conflict resolution, and we'd make sure kids got their homework and reading done. And parents really loved that. But this other day camp, man, they had a long list. They was rejecting people and they didn't do nothing. It's just the guy that was running that, he was that guy. And when people went there to like sign up for his day camp, they was just like, I just gotta have my kid here. Why? Oh man. And even in real estate, people came to me and I could sell houses because people knew that I knew what I was talking about. I even had white people telling me, like old white people, with money. They were like, yeah, you know what you're talking about. You really know what you're talking about. But we had other agents that didn't know anything and they just had. I remember there was this one agent, and I'm not trying to be politically incorrect, but he had a stutter. He had a stutter. Like he had a literal stutter. and he mumbled too. So he's not the clearest talker. You could tell I talk clear. It didn't matter. He was our number one agent. I was always number two or three, but he was number one every year. And even now with DJing, I have the same, but I always relaxed on, but I'm excellent. I'm good. I'm reliable. You know that I'm going to be there on time. Actually, I'm going to be there early. You know, I'm going to be solid, give you a solid, and I'm going to make sure people go. I mean, I'm going to make sure people stay. They're not going to go. But in order for me to get to where I want to go, I got to be that guy. I got to be that guy. Can't just be solid. Can't just be like reliable. I got to be something that where people are like, I want to be there with mad scientists. Oh, mad scientists gonna be there? Okay, cool. And that's what the promoter was telling me is like, bro, like, yeah, you could spend the money at these venues, and if it don't work out, yeah, you got it. It's 15 grand, it's nothing. Okay, cool. My bad. But that's not what the owners want. They could open up themselves but if you're gonna lock that venue down for an event, they want to know, oh, it's gonna be lit. Oh, it's a Grammy party? Okay. What artists are you doing? Who's coming? Who's gonna be here? And the people, and you can't just go out and say, this is LA. I want to go out and get these people, and how much does it cost? And because if you try to figure that out, they're going to be like, well, go to my agency. And the agency's gonna be like, yo, well, this is how much it costs for appearances, blah, blah, blah. Bam. So now it's not just putting 15,000 on the line. A Grammy party could easily rack up. And the reality is, what my promoter was saying is that you're not that guy. It's all reliable. So it hurt my heart, but I know how I am. I obsess over things. I obsess over things. And now I have a new obsession. And so I guess the message that I want to say to you guys is this. Like, look, here's the moment of truth. And here's what it comes down to. I don't know the answer yet. I don't know. I don't have a 4-part series for you on this. Like, I was late because I was in the conversation. I'm like, yo, I gotta go do my thing. He's like, all right, I'll see you tonight. I'll be there on time. The bottom line is we could go and we could talk about all this music, and we could talk about all these techniques, and we could talk about all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, you just gotta be that dude or that person. You gotta be more than just, I don't know how many of you guys have ever played a sport. And then if you have played a sport, you played against college athletes or professional athletes. Out here in California, I told you I work for parks. So one of the parks I worked with in college was Del Air Park. And it was a famous park because it's very, very close to where the Lakers practice, and it's near the airport. So a lot of high-level high school players, college players, like bench players on college, like UCLA, USC, but the bench players, right? And some semi-pro and some pro, but not the stars, right? Like Kobe's never come there, or Shaq, or none of the stars have ever come to that part. But a lot of times the bench players will come. If you ever play basketball against someone who has made it to college, whether they're male or female, let me tell you something. They don't miss. They don't miss. They just don't miss. And when I say they don't miss, meaning in every shot, they don't miss. We're not talking about all to layup. In fact, they don't even do layups unless it's a game, but they don't do layup. If it's like 21, pick up 21, 3-on-3, they don't do layups. They shoot nothing but jumpers. And some of them will just shoot all left hand. That being said, they don't miss. And these are bench players. Their level of excellence and execution is so high. I remember playing against this one guy. We were playing 21. So it wasn't one-on-one, but in 21, you have to play one-on-one. This one guy was so quick. I've never seen a human being move that fast. Just from my eyes, I've never seen a human being that can go from the three-point line or top of the key to their shot that quick. Like I wouldn't even understand how that could even be possible. I say that to say that these are bench players. So we look at players that's on the bench that's all like, and just cheering on the stars. And we think somehow they're on the bench because, maybe we played high school. Like I played high school soccer, and, like the bench players are usually the ones that the coaches says, okay, come on, you can get on. And just because you're a good person, but really like you have no skills. So we're thinking on that level, right? Once you get to college, you've been the best wherever you came from. And they take the best. And then they say, okay, the 12 best players from everywhere that we can get. Now, of those 12 best, who are the 8 best of them? So you play against a bench player in basketball, you think, oh, you're on the bench. They've been the best somewhere, the best in the entire city. Like out here, we're the Lakers. We got the Lakers, right? Our second best player is Austin Reeves. He was not drafted. All 32 teams looked at Austin Reeves and said, nah, we're good. The Lakers said, we'll take Bronny James. And then it was like Austin Reeves had to try out, and the Lakers was like, all right. They said that they just brought him on because they liked him. And they're like, you know what? You can go to Vegas with us because they just liked him. Right? That was him. That was Austin Reeves. He's our second highest scorer. He's averaging 29 points a game. Now, if you think that somehow he's getting lucky this year, then you don't know sports. He could have always done that. The reason why he wasn't playing like his first years and he wasn't getting that much points is because remember, we had Anthony Davis, we had all these other people. LeBron in his prime, well, not prime, but LeBron. And it just so happened that, okay, finally he gets some chances. Okay, he's reliable, gets some chances. Okay. So The reason I say that is because just being good is not gonna get you to where you wanna go. Just being excellent. I mean, not to embarrass Erica, but Erica wrote something that some sophisticated form of music when she was like, how old were you? She was like super young. Most of the producers in this industry, like I was watching the Diddy doc, the guy Little Rod that's suing Diddy now, he plays multiple instruments excellently. And yeah, like if you watch the Diddy doc, he's in there playing the instruments excellently. I know people who are virtuosos on piano struggling, struggling. Just being excellent is not good enough. There's got to be more. And that is the moment of truth. So, to wrap this up, what am I telling myself? I'm telling myself, okay, having that it factor and no skill, well, that's not going to work. But at the same time, having skill and no it factor apparently is not enough. Um, but that's what it takes. Like I've got to be able to DJ. I've got to be able to announce on social media that I'm DJing somewhere and people want to come. Not because I have this bright flyer or this really great content that I created to make people be like, oh my God, I must go. Like, no, I've got to just have that something. And I don't know what it is, but I'm going to figure it out. And I've seen it. I've seen it. Like, I was at this event over here in California at this new venue, and I saw people at that event who literally would say, I say, hey, come to my event over here at this venue. And they're like, well, I really don't go out anymore. I go to the gym. All kind of excuses. I don't go out that much anymore. That lifestyle is just unhealthy. I gotta go to school. All kind of excuses. I went last Sunday to that venue. I saw people who gave me all those excuses that were there, suited and booted. The right it will make people do things that they just won't do for other people. Okay. I mean, Chris Brown can sing. Yes, he's very talented at singing, but he has something else that makes people say, I want to go see Chris Brown. And I'm willing to pay $10,000 to take a picture with him. And the reality is, I don't have that. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people think I'm cool, but no one's gonna pay $10,000 just to take a picture with me. And I don't have it. I don't know how to get it. So I'm just gonna end by saying this. I'm gonna obsess and figure it out. And if I figure it out, I'll let y'all know. I'll share because I care, but I want to have it. I see myself when I close my eyes. I see myself old, showing up, and a lot of people being happy that I'm there. I see it. So I feel like this conversation today was something that I needed to have. I needed to have in order for me to go to the next level. It's what I asked for. And the universe typically gives you what you ask for. Oh, you want to be that guy? Okay, well, guess what? You're not that guy. Now, what are you going to do with it? That I do know. When confronted with these situations, you have a choice. You can either give up, I could go get that job, shut this down, and go work for the county. Or I could be that guy, be the person that I see in my head when I close my eyes. And I see myself living for a long time doing this, having fun, and people just, I see it. When I close my eyes, I see myself being a global person. And I'm not afraid of that moment, but I don't have the skill or the knowledge or the understanding or the perspective. I don't know what it is. I can't, you know. Thank you, Erica. She's giving me all kind of suggestions. I appreciate that. Uh, but this was my moment of truth. And I wanted to be consistent and I wanted to be honest and I wanted to share this with you guys. I could have did what I was going to do, but my heart would not have been in it. I just would have been like, I'm just doing it because, and that I don't want to do. I don't want to do anything where my heart's not in it. You know, some people say, mad scientist, you're so emotional about this music. And I say to them, yes, I want to be. Like, I don't want to do something for the rest of my life that I don't feel, that doesn't make me cry, that doesn't make me angry, that doesn't make me feel. It's the most fundamental thing that we can do as humans is to feel. We're not robots, we're not computers. We feel. We go by intuition. We have perception. So it separates us from everything else in nature. It's why, like, you have humans around the world, because there was one a group of humans that were sitting there in Southeast Africa and said, "Yo, there's got to be more to this world than than just the Serengeti." They wanted to look past and be further than just the Serengeti. And that group just said, "You know what? Let's just go." Now, obviously, there were some that stayed. We call them Kenyans and Eritreans and South Africans. They stayed. But the ones that left, they left. They went different places. Some turned left, some turned right. Some went straight up. The ones that went straight up, they found some Neanderthals and said, "Man, that Neanderthal woman, she got some booty." I have a joke that would make sense in black circles, but I don't know if I can say it here on YouTube. But if you black and you see this and you're a guy, you know what I'm thinking. Like, when you see a woman, you know, ninjas, they anything. And you know, somebody looked at that Neanderthal and was like, "Man, she thick though." And now you got those people in Europe. All right, enough of the jokes and everything. I got to get ready to go DJ. I got to go shave. I got to go shower. I got to go figure this out. But I will be back next Wednesday for hot takes. We're talking about this Diddy doc, and then I'll be back next week, and I'm gonna start talking about formatting. What do I mean by that? Meaning, I get a lot of people that say, "Yo, mad scientist, can you play my song in the club?" And if they're cool with me, I don't mind. If I like the song, I'll slide it in, right? But a lot of times people give me music that is either too slow or too fast. It doesn't fit. I'm like, bro, this doesn't, or sis, this doesn't fit. Like, have you been to a club? Do you know what clubs sound like? Right? Do you know how to deliver this to a club DJ? And they don't. Okay. And even with the radio, I get people, hey, can you music be all lyrics be all dirty? Or it's clean, but like they've said so many dirties that their verse sounds like up, up. I'm like, bro, you wanted this to be a radio song, just don't cuss. Don't cuss. You can't make the song without not cussing. Don't cuss. Because you want it to go to the radio. So don't cuss. Maybe one word is a cuss word, but you can't have 10 cuss words because it's going to sound choppy and then the song won't even make sense. So that's what I want to have a discussion about. That's what I want to talk about is those are the things that you need to think about when you are writing your music. Another thing is sound selection. Well, how do you select the sound? Well, where do you want to put the song at so that it sound, because right now people want to feel a whole vibe. And if you pull in something that sounds too way out, then it just cuts people off. Like, oh my God. So, like one of the vibes for college is lo-fi. Well, if you want your music to go on a lo-fi station, then it must have lo-fi sounds that have that lo-fi feel, chords that have the lo-fi feel, melodies that have the lo-fi feel. It's about designing your music so that it's consistent with the format or the or the platform that you want to put your music on. And you got to think about those things. And so that's what we're going to discuss it so that while you're making your music, you get to the point where it's like, okay, yeah. Because especially if you're doing hip hop, you're doing 1 to 2 chords. You're connecting 1 to 2 chords. And usually it's the 1 to 5. Okay, that's it. Or you got 1 chord. All right, that's it. And then you got a bass line. But it's not about chord progressions and bass lines. And it's not even about melody. You can have a really great melody, but if the vibe is not right with the song, if it's not formatted right, it's not going to fit. And a lot of people don't get that or understand it. They can't put everything together. And I'm not just talking about like independent people. I'm talking about people that are well established. They're not putting everything together, so they've wasted. So I've come up with the phrase, your song has no purpose. It has no purpose. It's just a song. It doesn't have any reason to exist. Nobody is unusable. And when you have unusable songs, unusable music, then it's not going to do well. My last project, I had a lot of I made a determination. I said, I had all these rejected beats, right? And I was like, man, some of these beats I actually thought were good. So I was like, man, I'm gonna show people like I'm talented. I'm gonna show people that these beats are good. And yes, they were. But once I was done, I realized, and I got that chip off my shoulder, I realized that a lot of the music was just unusable. It had no purpose. And that's when it dawned on me like, oh shit, wait. Your music has to have a purpose. I couldn't even play my own songs in the club. That was the issue that I had with those particular beats. So I said, okay, got it. Understandable. And so by the time I did the project with MC Johnny T, what makes it so good is that all those beats that I gave him for the Cole project are usable. That's what makes music enjoyable. When it has context, people have context. And when you have a radio song and there's no lyrics, then it's just not going to be popular. If you have a club song, but people can't dance to it because it's either too slow or too fast, it's not going to work. Fortunately, music is, I call it, a mathematical equation. So you just figure out, you talk to people, you figure out what's the right tempos. And for every coast or every region, it's going to be different. But the most important thing is that you got to know what your tempos are. You got to know what the right keys are, because you get the too high of a key, it's not going to translate well into the club, because club people love bass. We're bass heads. We're bass addicts. We have huge subwoofers located in the clubs. We want it to be in our face, in our ear. You might think, but that's just too loud. No, we don't believe in too loud. We want the bass to hit us and penetrate through our body. So there's no such thing as too loud. There are some frequencies that are just not going to translate, and frequency is another physics word for key. So key, the physics term is frequency. So if your key is too high, or if your key is too low, it will not translate in the club. And so that's what we're going to talk about over the next 4 weeks. I'm not going to give you guys formula. I'm going to give you perspective. And the key thing is the most important thing. Like, okay, subwoofers. We're actually going to look up what's the bass response for subwoofers. And we're actually going to see the frequency. And then we're going to correlate that frequency with a key. It's the first test that we'll do. So if you go down to A1, I know that's 32 hertz. You may think like, oh man, it'll work. Is that A1? Yeah, A1. But you better have a lot of saturation in that. You better have a lot of saturation in that, because that A1, that 32 hertz, yeah, the subwoofer can push it, but it's not going to translate as well. So we're going to test and see where it's at. And we're going to look at, I'm going to show you the songs that sound like it has more bass. I can give you a hint right now. All the Little Johns hits hard. And there is a reason why we still play Get Low, Shake That Monkey, because all you hear is just pure, like, I mean, it hits so hard. That engineer is an old crazy white guy, but it wasn't Lil Jon, but his engineer was old crazy white guy. Used to be in a band, but he figured that shit out. And that's why people love that song. Blow the Whistle, it just has an incredible melody included with great rhythm, great flow. I go on and on. Can't understand why I last so long. I must have superpowers. Rap 225,000 hours. Get a calculator. Do the math. I did 1,000. It ain't just the lyrics. It's also the message. I did 1,000 shows to make you move your ass. Got 16 albums with me on the front, and they bump. Getting goose pimples just talking about that song. But you would think that song came out 2005, 20 years later. I'm going to play that tonight. And people still going to be throwing drinks in the air. Blow the whistle. Woo, 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 blow the whistle. They putting Christmas songs on top of that. All right, look, it's been an hour. Let me get out of here. I appreciate everybody coming through. I will see y'all next week. I'm going to figure it out. And when I figure out this famous thing, I'll let you know. I promise I will share. Or maybe you just come to be where I'm at, because I'm so famous. You guys are going to be like, oh my God, I have to go see Mad Scientist wherever he's at. Yes. And if you're down with me from day one, of course I got you. Come on in. Let's go. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody that came through. Y'all have a great weekend. Be safe. And I will see y'all next Wednesday for sure.